In KwaZulu-Natal, the Rainman Land Care Foundation has been training people on organic agriculture for over 10 years. Dr. Raymond Aubach believes that permaculture and organic farming is the solution for South Africa.
The reason I make a point of being Dr. Raymond Aubach is a lot of young black folk think that agriculture is a career that doesn't really have a lot of intellectual merit. And it is really important to know that you can get a doctorate in organic farming and rainwater harvesting. As you've seen, we have students here learning about organic agriculture, learning agribusiness, learning about certification, and learning the basics of marketing. The question of young people and agriculture is a difficult one for Africa and the world. Many young people the world over just want to get as far away from the rural areas as possible. But what we have found over the last 5 years is that more and more young people are coming who are passionate about agriculture, and in particular passionate about organic agriculture, showing that organic agriculture actually is a very viable development alternative, in particular in Africa, a route to food security and a route to sustainable production. And organics is very energy efficient, organics is very water efficient. Our Rainman rainwater harvesting system basically shows that we can use half the water for producing crops on our farm here. The mulches reduce evaporation by 40%. The swales, which increase infiltration, double the infiltration in the soil. And the organic matter from the compost means that there's a lot better water holding and nutrient holding possibilities for our systems, which enables people to use their indigenous traditional knowledge and to build on that indigenous traditional knowledge where they can actually, first of all, achieve food security. Secondly, develop small businesses which are energy efficient and sustainable, and thirdly, contribute to national food self-sufficiency. And if government follows the lead of the Food and Agricultural Organization, which has realized that these systems are sustainable, then we feel that there is a future for rural development in this country.
Just outside Pietermaritzburg, Richard Haig is farming with indigenous crops and animals to show that traditional knowledge can help farmers to be successful.
The reason why we have the indigenous animals is we like the statement, it's almost a political statement, of farming with our indigenous breeds. They have a lot to offer, they've co-evolved with the environment, they're well adapted to this sort of terrain, and of course it's a management tool. So by keeping your indigenous animals, they require far less sort of veterinary products. We have vast traditional knowledge in the province. Farming with traditional crops, with traditional livestock breeds, taps into that knowledge. We choose specifically not to grow genetically modified soybeans because that means that we can save our own seed every year, and there's an emerging market for non-GMO food types, and we've chosen that because with the diversity that we have, we are better able to cope with influences of climate change. With the cattle, the crops, the chickens and the sheep, we would minimize our risk to a large degree. If you look at ecological agriculture taps on traditional knowledge, but it also taps on science. So you get a synergy of the two, and I think, if we look at the environment, the care of the environment, issues around global warming, waste, population, by farming ecologically, we manage to enhance all of those different components and increase our productivity and our viability, but most importantly, our marketability. You talk to older people, what was your diet, what did your diet used to be like? And they all say that the type of foods that they ate then and what they eat now are different. And I think that we can learn quite a lot from traditional crops, traditional cooking systems, and in order to keep that knowledge alive, we should also be growing those traditional crops.
With permaculture gardens popping up all over the townships, a cooperative was established to market and to sell the product, and so creating an economic framework for the previously unemployable people, for the ghetto mass of them, saying.
Rob Small is the resource manager for Abalimi and believes that this model will work in all cities and towns around South Africa, bringing much needed hope and crucial job opportunities.
We work with survivalists to help people survive joblessness by growing food at home and in community gardens. people are farming organically by default. Yeah? And if that is built up, that can be the, call it the security of the nation, the base upon which everything else can grow, as against the current industrial commercial model, which eliminates small farmers, eliminates organic practice, eliminates natural elements altogether and turns them into factories and puts them into the hands of the ownership of only a very few people. Whereas organic farming and the permaculture approach gives ownership of the land to the greatest number of people, and food security and income generation, and then job creation as well as a basis for all other industries.
Abalimi helps households by providing permaculture training and minimal assistance in the form of seeds, compost and equipment.
We work with over 3,000 farmers per annum. We spend 3 million rand per annum, which works out to be not more than 80 rand per farmer per month.
We used to mix a mealies, pumpkin, beans in a one field. That is a permaculture. But when you look, there are people got nothing. And to me, I start to see what meaning the people when they saying they are poor and the poorest is where I learn and I see in my eyes. I come back to Abalimi, I say, Balini, I see what we're doing, but I think we need to go out. We need to go street by street and introduce ourselves and helping those when they could even not 10 cents to grow 1 bed of cabbage. We come from Transkei to look in the job in Cape Town. There's no job. What we can do, why these people they're growing, what they're getting from this growing. Those time was not a huge market outside. We was doing market in the local market, in our community back to those ones they employ. They come there to buy spinach, they come there to buy onion, everything was still local. We start to spread. But we work here because we like what we're doing. Now, it's our life, we like it. I support my salary. I'm only one working at my house. I support my salary with this vegetable. I support the food in the table with this vegetable. Afternoon, when I leave here, afternoon, go back to Kultcha, I go to pick up my spinach. I'm not buying spinach. I'm not buying green paper. One message I can say, the government, those dirty open space around our township. I'm not saying give. I say lend those land to the community to grow vegetable. Keep our township green if we can get allowed to get those land and develop our food, and we got our marketers. We support this vegetable back to the community, especially to those people they can't, are vulnerable, they can't do anything. We support them because they're good nutrition, they're good health, especially to the HIV.
Food and Trees for Africa started a project just outside Soweto in 2005 to help poor communities to grow their own food and medicinal plants. Food and medicine obtained from these gardens are given to orphans and to help home-based caregivers to feed their patients.
We assisted the project to teach them how to do harvesting and utilize the product in terms of distribution through into the community for the preschool children, people affected and infected with HIV/AIDS in the community, and going further to an extent of teaching them how to process the herbs so that they have finer products like oils, ointments, and package them for sale in later stages.
An important part of the project is the ability to make medicinal products from herbs and plants that grow in the garden. These are either sold or given out to members of the community when they need help.
This is a living example of a vibrant project where the home-based care project is doing visits, and they're utilizing the products and the skills to improve the whole community in general.
There's a great need for young people to be farmers, to be producers of good things of the earth.
Permaculture, it helps people to acquire life skills.
Permaculture is a good thing. You can learn anything that you want to know about permaculture.
You know, I'm proud when I tell people I'm a gardener. I'm proud to have my hands in the ground.
The soil is the money. The land is the money.
We've seen the climate change, economic hardship, the increase on food prices. So the future for all South Africans needs to be sustainable, or we risk slipping into a spiral of poverty, hunger, and disease. The choice is yours to move towards a green and prosperous future through permaculture and organic farming. Viva the revolution, viva! Viva permaculture, viva!
Chemicals Panzi! Viva organic farming, viva! Viva!